How are y'all doing this morning, guys? April 23rd, 8:42 a.m. West Coast time. What a crazy 24 hours, really, that we've. I mean, not really 24 hours, man. I'm talking about just what a crazy time we're living in, really, at this football club, bro. I mean, Rosenior gets sacked yesterday, and we were all, as Chelsea fans, waiting for that statement. But it's the silver lining in what's going on at the club. He's the first step of getting this ownership out of the club. Now, they can put out a club statement that they put out yesterday saying they're going to take some time of self-reflection to make sure that they get the appointment right. I mean, how many managers are you guys going to go through before you guys do actually do your due diligence, bro? You know what I mean? Like, we're over here going through, I think this is now that they've gone through 10 managers in the past 10 years, but if you take the Roman Abramovich part out of it, they've gone through Thomas Tuchel, they have gone through Mauricio Pochettino, they've gone through Frank Lampard, they've gone through Enzo Maresca, and now they've gone through Liam Rosenior. And now Callum McFarlane is set to take this team to a FA Cup semifinal at Wembley against Leeds, where the confidence is at an all-time low. And there's reports today even talking about how some players may leave, and it's coming from Fabrizio Romano. I need to find the actual post from him first real quick. Let me go ahead and find that, because he put out an interesting thing this morning about how certain players may end up leaving if the next manager isn't a serious manager. I need to find that post, bro, because it's actually a pretty crazy thing to say, to actually like come to a conclusion with. But do I blame these players if they want to leave, if the next manager is not the one that they're looking for? I need to find it. It may have been on Instagram that I saw it, but he does post on Twitter as well. I'm trying to find it. Maybe if I go to my bad, guys, I should have had this up earlier, like as I was getting ready, but I was just trying to get on because I gotta. Jeez, I cannot find it, bro. Trying to figure out where I did see it on Instagram. I just need to find it, honestly, and then I'll just show it on my phone rather than actually just like not stressing out. But I forgot where it was. Essentially, what the post was talking about was that if these players do not believe in the next manager, they're going to look for a way out in the summertime. And there's a lot to talk about there with that. But the one thing that I will say is that they have to get it right. If they're not going to sell, they need to get it right. Otherwise, you guys need to sell up in the summer. That's all I'm going to really say on that, because Liam Rosenior is no longer the manager of this club. And it's been a long time coming. Let's see who came up in here today. FA Cup coming home. McFarlane has drawn with City last match, and we were playing very good in that match. Only thing, we were not taking our chances. I mean, that is true. We did sneak out a result at the Etihad in early January. We didn't play bad in that game. I mean, it was a new manager bounce, but there was a lot of emotion given that Enzo Maresca did part ways. And there is something that I want to pull up here about that, actually. Where's it at? Yeah, it's right here. It's actually insane, dude, that like these owners are continuously gaslighting the entire fan base on what happened between Enzo Maresca and that's not the layout I want, motherfucker. Give me a second. Am my shit's all jumbled up this morning, isn't it? I'll go this over there here, I guess. So essentially, what we're seeing here is Chelsea did not fire Enzo Maresca, had no desire to make a mid-season change. Aggrieved insiders have pinned the blame on the season, descending into chaos on what they view as Maresca spoiling his relationship with the hierarchy after 18 months promising months in charge. So, I mean, I'll be honest, bro. The guy only wanted a few players to be brought into the squad. And if you would have got those players, Chelsea wouldn't be in the position that they're in. He's asking for a goalkeeper and a center half, two positions that we need to upgrade severely in the squad, bro. Like it's almost like they need a full reset at the back. You keep Reece James, you keep Kukurea, and you keep Levi Colwell. At that point, you need to go get another center half and fill out the rest of the back line. Joao Hato is another player that you keep in the squad because he's honestly been the one player during these past few games that have actually put in a shift and put in the effort to actually show that he gives a fuck about being out there, right? But with the FA Cup semifinal at the weekend, the team that Callum McFarlane needs to put out there is a team that gives us the best opportunity, really, to at least put in the effort. Are we going to beat Leeds United at the weekend? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't think we are because of how bad we are. And we're not even scoring goals. Leeds are scoring goals. And like, there's a team I want to mention a little bit later on in this stream because I watched the highlights of this game yesterday and the state of affairs that this club finds itself in. Chelsea will find itself in that scenario in the next 5 years if shit doesn't change. Tottenham Hotspur are on the track of getting relegated, right? Leicester City, a team that won the Premier League 10 years ago, now finds itself in League One, bro. In League One, they were tipped to come back up after this season as one of the top two teams in the championship to get automatically promoted. They sit second bottom in the championship, and now they are officially relegated to League One. Watching the reaction yesterday and watching the highlights of this game, there's a reason why this team is where it's at. And they've had financial issues. Their owner unfortunately passed away. I believe now we're going on 6-7 years since that tragic helicopter crash outside of the training facility in Leicester. And since then, his son has taken over and has absolutely ran this team into the ground financially, emotionally, and just with the play on the field that we're seeing. You look at that Leicester team, bro, and this team has Premier League. They were in the Premier League last season, bro. They were in the Premier League last season, and now they're finding themselves in League One with over 200 million in debt. Now you're going to have employees at that club lose their jobs because they're not going to be able to afford to pay the wages that other employees there are going to be able to get. Players there are not going to get the same wages. Players are going to leave. You can't tell me that Leicester City team is a League One side. It's the ineptitude of the ownership, and it's just sad to see where Leicester has gone, bro. It really, really is. And Tottenham are on the same track. If they do get relegated this season, they're not coming back up right away. And they're going to be in serious jeopardy of being Leicester in the next couple seasons. Chelsea, on the other hand, with the way that we are and the way that shit's going now, if the next manager that we get isn't a proven elite style manager, but what manager is going to want to come here under these circumstances, right? You're going to have to throw a blank check at these managers, bro. You're going to have to do it. But they've been doing that to Graham Potter. They've done it to Liam Rosenior. They have to pay Liam Rosenior $24 million to sack him. Graham Potter was signed for 5 years, $12 million a year. He was making $60 million. And he was sacked within the same season. These guys are losing money by the appointment. Enzo Maresca didn't even want the money. He said, fuck off. I'm done with this shit. You guys don't want to help me out. I'm not going to help you out. I'm gone. That's essentially what happened. They're going to say that he was being ridiculous up top. I'm saying that he asked for certain positions because he exceeded expectations and he wanted a bit more say. Elite managers are going to have it. Managers should have a say at board level on what players come in and out because they're the ones on the pitch getting these players to put in a shift and follow the tactical instructions that they're looking for. This is another example of this ownership just gaslighting the entire fan base, bro. It is. It absolutely is. Then we pull over here, and like I'm taking this as PR. Jose Mourinho is the candidates being considered for the Chelsea managerial job. The Portuguese coach still owns a home just 10 minutes away from Stamford Bridge. Honestly, man, he's not going to come here because we all know how Jose Mourinho is, right? He's going to speak his mind. If shit's not going right at the club, he's going to speak his mind. He's going to call out these players. Now, what Liam Rosenior did that I did appreciate towards the very end in his last like media scrum was he said specifically, like, I don't understand that performance. It's a damning performance. It's a disrespectful performance. It's not what I expect from men out there. But these players stopped playing for you, bro, a long time ago. The minute that you walked in, they just stopped playing. They never believed in you, bro. Like, they never believed in you. And as sad as it is, and I have nothing against Liam Rosenior personally, I just don't think this job was for him. And it was too big of a job for him at the time, man. It's like if Chelsea, if he was, say, a 10 years in the managerial game and he's managed some decent clubs and he's ready to take that next step, Liam Rosenior wouldn't have been a bad option. But when you're bringing in a guy that has managed championship sides, League One sides, and then you're going to a Big Five league, you're going to Strasbourg, you get them their best ever finish, you get them into Europe, but then you come to a more intense job, a more demanding job, and you can't get a goal in 5 games. You're losing 5 straight games. The players are making fun of you, whether you have glasses on or not. You got Cole Palmer supposedly questioning your tactical know-how on what's going on the pitch. You're gonna get the axe, bro. You're going to get the axe. And unfortunately for him, this job came for him too early. And for fuck's sake, they better not go get Gary O'Neill from Strasbourg. But is that a possibility? It's a real possibility that they'll pull him out of Strasbourg after the end of the season to make him the manager. All these names that you're seeing, Adoni Iraola, Xabi Alonso, Cesc Fabregas, Edin Terzic, Jose Mourinho, right? Those managers are gonna want to say in what players come in and out. But this ownership has proven to us that they don't want anybody's opinions on what players are coming in because it's data driven, it's AI driven, right? I use the eye test. I don't use data, bro. And from what I've seen, this team is crap right now because the mentality's in the bin. But at the same time, there's certain players in certain positions that should not be here. Liam Delap should not be here, right? Alejandro Garnacho should not be here. Wesley Fofana is another guy that should not be here. Malo Gusto is another guy that should not be here, right? Pedro Neto, a guy that's going to be sold in the summer. If he's not sold in the summer, I'm going to be shocked. I'll be absolutely shocked. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys, had to go get a couple of my dogs and bring them into the room. But like I was saying, man, like these owners are not going to change. This is why they need to get the fuck out. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what they say or do and what manager comes in. They still need to sell up, bro. The only thing, in my opinion, that's going to really change, I guess, people's perception is if they do get the right manager in, I guess. But even then, it's like, what money are you guys going to have to go get players that this manager is going to want? You're going to have to sell players. And speaking of selling players, I'm glad that I brought this part up. This is a story I saw this morning that is like, I would not be surprised if they do come in for him, right? Breaking. And this is coming from The Athletic. And The Athletic is probably one of the most reliable sources you can when it comes to player transfers, club news, or whatever, right? Man City are considering Chelsea's Enzo Fernandez as a midfield option this summer. Now, it says considering. It doesn't mean they're going in for him because Man City are probably looking at other options to fill out their midfield. But with reports that Enzo Maresca could possibly be the manager there next season, why wouldn't Enzo Maresca try to go get a player that he made better? Right? And put Enzo Fernandez in this Man City team alongside Rodri, alongside like a Ryan Cherky, right? alongside a Nico O'Reilly, right? Like, these are the levels that he should be around. And this is going to prove to a lot of people why he's actually a pretty damn good midfielder. Get the better players around him. And then you'll really start seeing the real quality that Enzo has. But is this going to be a real possibility? If Man City do come in for an offer, Man City are going to lowball Chelsea because there's no Champions League. But at the same time, you're doing a transfer within the Premier League, so there's a Premier League tax, right? But at the same time, why would you want to sell to a direct rival? But at this point, like, there is no rivalry between Man City and Chelsea because Man City are absolutely ripping up Chelsea every single time they play against them, bro. I don't want to hear about the 1-1 at the Etihad. I mean, I understand it was a good result at the time, but now looking back at it, we were fortunate to get that 1-1. It took a mistake from Donnarumma and Enzo Fernandez just poking the ball in there to get the 1-1 result. And like, I was happy with it. He's one of my favorite players on the team, so I was happy when he scored that goal. You know, in the moment I was geeked, but now we are so far removed from that moment that it would not surprise me if he is now seriously trying to push for a move away. And I don't blame him at all. But I'd prefer him go abroad than go to a direct rival, right? That's just my thing. But is it likely that he leaves in the summer? I think it's still a 50-50 shot he leaves. I still think it's a 50-50 shot, especially if Blue Coat and Chelsea's plan is to go get an elite manager, then realistically you're gonna have to, or not an elite manager, some decent players, then realistically you're gonna have to sell a couple of your best players. If you say you sell Pedro Neto, you sell Enzo Fernandez, you sell Garnacho, you sell Wesley Fofana, you can probably rake in about 250 million for them, maybe. But even then, are they going to use that money in the right areas? No, they're just not. So this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you sell players or not. These owners are just saying there's going to be more players brought in with proven experience. We will believe it when we see it. When we start seeing these elite players and decent players actually holding up their jersey, that's when I'll believe it. But until then, I don't believe anything that this ownership says. It's ridiculous, bro. Right? So if we take I just want to check I just want to read the comments and react. Only top teams are coming for him. Said it time after time. Because he's a top player. You don't see teams like Celta Vigo coming in for an Enzo Fernandez. You don't see teams like RB Leipzig coming in for Enzo Fernandez, right? You're seeing teams he's linked with Real Madrid, with PSG, now with Manchester City, right? Before he came to Chelsea, was linked with teams like Real Madrid, like Liverpool. Everyone remembers the famous battle over the summer for Caicedo between Chelsea and Liverpool, where Liverpool put in a bid, but Chelsea paid 1 million more just to get him, because Liverpool put the pressure on us to make sure that we get our guy. Because realistically, they weren't trying to go after Caicedo. Now, if they had Caicedo in their team, I think Liverpool are probably challenging for the Premier League this season, realistically, even though they won it last year. But if they had a Caicedo in their team like that, a guy that's a midfield destroyer, yeah, it would have been insane. He's a good as fifth or sixth piece for a team. He can't handle the pressure of having to be the best and leading a squad. I mean, he wouldn't have to do that if he goes to Man City. It wouldn't be his team. But he would be a important piece to that team. Don't get that twisted. Had they got 200 million, he's not 200 million. The market value for Enzo Fernandez right now, from what I've been hearing, is around 80 million. Man City would pay that. Why wouldn't they? They have the resources. Especially if Enzo Maresca does become the manager, he would probably tell him, contact Chelsea, contact Blueco, give them 80, 90 million, and get me Enzo Fernandez. That's what it's going to do. That's what he'll do. Enzo for Marmouche and Tijani. Bro, you're dreaming, dude. Even though both of those players would make this team a lot better. Yeah, if I see Enzo Maresca and Enzo Fernandez at City next season, I might jump off a cliff. Listen, bro. Sell for 105 million inside Anderson and Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva would be a free transfer, bro. So you're saying sign Elliot Anderson for 105 million, bro? Like these are the kind of like replies that I just don't understand. Ask yourself why City isn't going for Anderson. Like this is like this is what I'm talking about here, guys. Right? If Elliot Anderson is really that guy, then why aren't the bigger clubs going after him? It could be the price, but we've seen links of him being linked to Manchester United. We haven't heard anything about them trying to really go in for a bid or any team. The only people that are talking about Elliot Anderson are the ones that don't want Enzo Fernandez at this club. And you can even say Adam Wharton too, but I haven't seen anybody talk about Adam Wharton in the past couple of weeks. Same with Elliot Anderson, to be honest with you. But like, there's a reason why like the top clubs are not going after him. Top clubs are going after Enzo Fernandez for a reason, guys. They just are. They really just are. Justin, Chelsea have entered the race to sign Bernardo Silva this summer. The Blues are keen to inject experience and proven leadership into the squad, targeting players with a winning mentality as they look to build a team capable of competing at the very top. Reported by Graham Bailey. He's what, 34, 31 or something like that? I don't know how old he is. But the point is, I mean, like if you bring somebody like a Bernardo Silva in, is he going to play without playing in Europe? I doubt that. Maybe at his age, he may not want the demand of Premier League football and European football, but realistically, he's going to want to play in the Champions League. He's going to want to play in Europe at a minimum, bro. He's a winner. All he's known is the Champions League, winning the Champions League and winning the Premier League. You come to Chelsea, you're just regressing. The perspective I like, Edoni Iraola at Chelsea, we are the most unfit team in the league. He'd force those overweight losers to train every day with a few days off, then won't get out. We won't get out run. But other than that, I don't think it's a good fit. Yeah, see, this is the post right here. Some Chelsea players are waiting to understand who the next coach will be in order to see if they will be happy or not with Chelsea's long-term project. The new manager choice will be very important to discuss with some crucial players to make sure they are happy long-term. So, essentially, if the next manager that comes in isn't the right guy, Enzo Fernandez will definitely be gone. Cole Palmer will definitely push for a move away. João Pedro at some point will push for a move away. Esteval, when he comes back and his hamstring is fine, will push for a move away. Do I need to go on about the players that are going to leave? If this appointment isn't right, then we're really in the bin. Then we're really in the gutter. And we're already there, right? So I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see who like the next guy is. Like I want to know from the people watching or whatever, like who do you guys want as the next Chelsea manager, bro? I mean, for me, if I really had to have a choice, I'd do everything I can to go get Cesc Fabregas out of Como, bro. I'd do everything I can. Because I feel like he's the one guy, realistically, he has the Chelsea DNA for one. He's won at the club. And he's proven in one of the top 5 leagues. Now, Serie A isn't, it's regressed. Yes. But at the same time, if you're a manager in the top 5 leagues and you're bringing a team like Como up to damn near a Champions League place, I think they're sitting like 5 points back at Juve right now in Serie A. They might get into Europe, but when you're bringing a team like that into Europe, why would you want to leave? And I've seen that he wants to continue his project at Como rather than taking a job in the Premier League where there's more demand right now. The money's better, but will he really want to risk his career coming to Chelsea right now? I think Chelsea needs to get reestablished first before he walks in. That's just me. Pochettino made Palmer. Maresca ruined him. His decline is Maresca's fault. He got injured early in the season, right? But you can say last season, from January up until May, when they played Liverpool at the Bridge, where he finally scored a goal and like he scored the penalty. He looked emotional as he scored it because he hadn't really scored a goal in like what at that point 4 months. but he hadn't scored a goal from open play until the Club World Cup. I will say this: Enzo Maresca, he didn't help Palmer's game, but I guess in a sense, he made other players in the team better. But Cole Palmer, bro, is a good player. You can't tell me for the life of me that he can't figure it out. I think he's mentally shot because of the injuries. He knows he's a great player, but when the rest of the team is shit around you, it's going to trickle down on you. But even then, like, since he's been back, I'm not blaming this on the manager anymore. Like, I'm just not blaming this on the manager. I'm blaming it on him at this point. I have to blame it on him at this point. Like, I've been saying this for a while, bro. Like, if your golden boy is playing this bad and he's been back from injury for about what is it now, 3 months? I understand the first part of the season, and we played pretty well without him. There's a stat going around that we're actually better without him, because of the numbers say so, right? But realistically, if he's on the pitch and he's actually in form, Chelsea is a different squad. But he's been shit all season. And he's really been shit for almost a year now, for over a year now. You take the Club World Cup out of it, he's been shit. And that has everything. And I'm not blaming Enzo Maresca for that anymore. It's on him. Because you've gone through now Enzo Maresca, and you now have gone through Liam Rosenior. I feel like at some point you need to stop looking at the manager in that part and start looking at the player's mentality. And I'm saying that he's mentally shot. He's thinking about the World Cup at this point. He ain't thinking about the season. He can get reassurances from Reece James about how the club is going to improve and bring players in. But realistically, he's going to be a guy that if it doesn't work out next year, he's going to leave. And he may even push for a move in January if it's really that bad. This is what I'm saying. The club has put themselves in this situation, and the players' mental is starting to be affected. And now the mental is trickling down into how they're playing. You can't make this up, bro. Like, you cannot make this shit up, man. I can say this now because it's late and people are asleep, but I really like Marco Silva. Chelsea could do a lot worse than hiring him from all Premier League coaches. He's ready. I saw this on the way home yesterday when I was driving home from work, and I was saying to myself, it's like, I wouldn't mind Marco Silva as the manager, but I just don't know how the fan base is going to react. This team wants an elite manager, bro. I mean, this fan base rather wants an elite manager, man. Surely this is the best goal of the Rosenior era. This was against Barcelona. This was the Enzo Maresca time. This was this season, guys. This was this season. If Ruben Amorim becomes Chelsea coach at any point, I might consider going on leave or on loan as a fan, maybe to enter a Dortmund. In fact, I'd rather support Arsenal than Chelsea of Ruben Amorim. Listen, bro, this is something that, like, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but to say that you would rather support Arsenal than Chelsea because of Ruben Amorim, because I don't know about that, bro. That's a bit wild to me. For clarity, a Wayne Rooney Chelsea would be better than a Ruben Amorim Chelsea. Really? May profound affliction never ever rise to such level of excruciating pain. That's another Liam Rosenior. Nothing special about him. Amorim, Ten Hag, Diego Simeone, Marco Silva. It's not just Liam Rosenior. The fans, most of them are glad to see the back of. It's not just the performances, the results that upset fans. It is Blue Co mostly and those sporting directors. Yeah. It got so toxic, bro. It's sad. It like honestly, man, like it really is sad. Like I never want to see people get told to fuck off like that. But I mean, I had the same energy, bro. Like he needed to fuck off. It like enough was enough. Like enough was enough, bro. Like it's just unfortunate, man. That's what I will say. I mean, it like this is what I think Chelsea fans need to understand here is that we had an issue with Liam Rosenior mainly because of he just wasn't ready, bro. He just wasn't ready, and the ownership, in my opinion, jumped the gun. They got rid of Enzo Maresca for, in my opinion, for no reason at this point. And when he's speaking out about how bad the club, how he's been treated over the past couple of days after the Atalanta loss, and then you beat Everton 2-0, but that 2-0 win against Everton was shambolic as hell. Everton could have came back, snatched a point, and even won it. And they shredded us at their new stadium a month ago. So you get rid of a guy that built the identity at the club that we've been asking for since Thomas Tuchel left, essentially. And since this new ownership has come in, like we need some type of identity to actually get behind here. And when he came in, of course, nobody wanted Enzo Maresca when he first came in. He was a championship manager, promoted Leicester from the championship, and he was just an unknown. In his first season, does what he does, gets silverware, gets us top four, and all he's asking for is just a few players in the squad, and the ownership can't help him out. But then all of a sudden, you start seeing stuff about how Liam Rosenior is over here, really involved with the summer recruitment. That was 2 weeks ago. Now he's gone. These owners haven't got a clue what they're doing, bro. They haven't got a fucking clue. Like, and it's sad. It really is sad because this club is suffering because of it. And it's like I said earlier in this stream, bro. We saw Leicester City a couple days ago officially get relegated to League One. Do I think Chelsea will get relegated to League One? Listen, they have a real possibility of being in a relegation battle next season. If this is how the form is going to continue, this is relegation form. This is how Tottenham were for majority of, like, for all of 2026. This is how Tottenham have been. But I can say that Spurs are better than us right now. Why? Because at least they're scoring goals. Are they getting the 3 points? No, but at least they're scoring goals. We can't even score a goal right now. This is what I'm saying. Tottenham may come to the bridge and actually beat us. Do you think I feel good saying that as a Chelsea fan, bro? Tottenham Hotspur coming to Stamford Bridge and beating Chelsea to save their asses and not get relegated. It would not surprise me if Chelsea are near the bottom of the table next season. And then heads are already rolling now. Could you imagine if Chelsea are actually in the bottom three at this point in the season next season? I'm telling you this right now. There will be riots outside of Stamford Bridge and all over West London if that happens. If that happens. Because Spurs fans are already facing the inevitable that there's a real possibility that they're going to go down and they're going to lose players in the process, right? I don't think Spurs go into administration, but I don't think they come back up right away. I think it's going to be a couple seasons before you see Tottenham Hotspur come back up to the championship. And it's crazy because the championship wasn't even as insane as it was over the past few seasons. But then you're looking at teams like Leicester that won the Premier League 10 years ago. Now they find themselves in the third tier of English football, bro. Going up against teams like MK Dons, bro. Like, this is the shit that I'm talking about here. When you don't take care of your financial situation and you're cheating stuff and you're cheating payrolls, you're over here doing illegal dealings or whatever the case is, right? I saw what the Leicester fans are saying. It's King Power out. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm going to help you guys out because we're saying Blue Co out. King Power out. Get the fuck out of Leicester City Football Club, bro. That's what I will say here is if you don't know what you're doing and you're bringing this much negativity to the club, you need to get out. You need to get out. So I'm here, Leicester City fans. If you guys ever see this video, right, the stream, I'm here for you guys as a Chelsea fan. And you guys beat us in the FA Cup final. I think it was what, 2021. It was a handball also too. It was a handball, bro. It was a handball. You guys should not have won that game. But anyway, the point is here is that King Power out and Blue Co out. I absolutely agree. King Power out and Blue Co out. And same for Tottenham. I hate Tottenham, bro, but I don't like seeing football clubs get destroyed from the inside out. Right? So, and with them, their directors need to leave too. We need to start getting serious people at these football clubs, bro, and actually run the clubs right. Man City, Arsenal, right? Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, institutions like those are serious. Are serious. They always make sure the front of shirt sponsors there. They always make sure the fans are well informed of what's going on, not gaslighting the entire fan base, putting out PR nonsense. They're not going to do that. Chelsea Football Club will, though, because they love to antagonize the fan base. They love to piss us off. And this is why the protest and the message of Blue Co out is never going to change. Blue Co out, get the fuck out of the club. Enough is enough. It doesn't matter who you hire as the next manager, bro. You guys still have to pack up your shit and leave. Leave the manager here. Whoever you guys hire, leave the manager here. But it better be in elite manager. Otherwise, the next ownership will probably go find that elite manager. Give him a blank check. Yeah, you come here, you fix this club, you bring the players that you need to bring this club back to like the glory days. And that's been over the past 25 years. Right? So this club needs to be reset. This club needs to be absolutely dismantled from the players, from the ownership, to the sporting directors, to the managers. And even some fans need to start revoking their cards, bro. Because some of the shit that you guys are saying about this ownership and still backing it is absolutely insane. Oh, no, we'll be okay. Every team has a bad run of form. You know, no team goes 5 straight games without scoring a goal and losing those games. At least get a draw. Draw 0-0. If you're gonna lose 3-0, get a consolation goal from somewhere, bro. But you're not scoring a goal in anything, bro. In nothing. I'm taking Port Vale out of this, bro, because people want to keep saying that we scored 7 against Port Vale. It's a League One side. You should be absolutely ripping them up every single time. Take that game out, they haven't scored a goal since PSG away. And when was that game? I believe it was March 11th. It's April 23rd. They haven't scored a goal since March 11th, bro. And we still got people here saying, yeah, well, it's just a bad run of form. What are you talking about as a bad run of form? They've been shit for the entirety of 2026. They've been just as bad as Tottenham, if not worse. Wolves, Burnley, and Tottenham have all scored more goals than us, and they are the bottom 3 in the Premier League. Form suggests that we should be in a relegation battle right now. It's crazy. But if I'm going to pivot away from Chelsea and talk about some other things that actually happened yesterday, bro, Lamine Yamal. Can we talk about him for a second? What an unfortunate situation. And like, I know a lot of people don't like him, but I don't like seeing players get injured, bro. Like, I really, really don't. You know, and it's sad to see that he's going to miss the rest of the season. I don't like Barcelona personally. Like, I actually hate them, but I don't like seeing players like him get injured. So let's go ahead and pull over here right quick on Lamine Yamal, bro. Unfortunately for him, Lamine Yamal will be out for the rest of the season with Barcelona with a hamstring injury. He's expected to return in time for the World Cup. So we know Esteval also has a grade 4 hamstring injury, bro, which means he's out for the rest of the season for sure. There's probably going to be some type of procedure done on that hamstring. And at 18 years old, it's absolutely insane. I think he's the same age as well. But getting these hamstring injuries at this age is nuts, bro. But Esteval got ran into the ground, bro. Can we stop like posting about that guy, please? He's not even here anymore, man. Is this the most famous injury before the World Cup? Is that Michael Ballack? Wow. This is how Ansu Fati owned. Take start, get well soon. Come on, but yeah, Ansu Fati probably. I mean, Ansu Fati's not going to start over Lamine Yamal. I mean, I think they played Celta Vigo yesterday, I think, and he stepped up to take the penalty, and after he scored the penalty, he immediately grabbed I think it was his right leg, I think. Yeah, and he's also missing El Clasico too, which is a big deal. I mean, Lamine Yamal is a big deal, bro, for that Barcelona team. And now Real Madrid have a chance to capitalize, right? Are they going to capitalize? I don't think so. I mean, I think Real Madrid haven't been good this season, but they're sitting second in the table. I would love to be sitting second in the table. Shit. One player gave Liam Rosenior the name the supply teacher. Bro, I saw so many things yesterday where like the players were like, there's been reports of the players, right, making fun of him when he has his glasses on and off, whether or not they take him seriously or not, and then saying like he may look more tougher without his glasses on. It's insane, bro. These players had no respect for him. Sources say that Liam Rosenior was so hurt by some of the criticism that he privately challenged his detractors, with one admitting to being surprised that the Chelsea coach was allowing himself to be distracted by the noise. Do you remember last week when I told you guys about how he said, like, a reporter asked him if the players still believe in what they have to fight for this season? And if you look at the mannerisms of when he responded to the question, he's clenching his teeth because he knows that he is extremely sensitive to criticism, and he's not oblivious to what's going on. The man has social media, the man has a phone, the man has the internet. He's aware of what's being said about him, but he couldn't necessarily say anything about it because everyone was right about him. The job was too big for him, and the players had no respect for him at the end of the day. It's crazy, bro. I mean, if I'm going to speak on the FA Cup for a little bit, I guess. I mean, we do play Leeds at the weekend. This guy here said that the FA Cup is coming home. Listen, bro, I doubt it. I don't see us beating Leeds, bro. Leeds are in really good form right now, bro. I mean, Leeds United, they came to the bridge and came back down from 2-0, and they snatched a point, and they could have honestly won it. Now, there was a moment in the game where I think his name's like Jared Bogle. The ball comes up onto his hand and he drags it into his path. I felt like that was a handball and the goal should have been chopped off, but it is what it is. I mean, that was 2 months ago now, and we've been dog shit since. We've been dog shit since. And people want to forget about the Wrexham game too. We were shit against Wrexham. We won 4-2, but we were anything but 4-2 winners on that day, bro. We were absolute dog shit, and it wouldn't have surprised me if Wrexham would have found a way to win because of how bad we were that night. So I'm saying the FA Cup, if we find a way to beat Leeds, we're not going to beat Man City in the final. It's going to take an absolute miracle, bro, for anything to happen this season. If we beat Leeds United, it's not going to paper over the cracks at this club, man. It just won't. So, like, don't let this fool you or anything like that, bro. I mean, it would be great to win the FA Cup because it means you get into Europe. But if I'm being honest, bro, this team isn't ready to go into a European competition whatsoever. We don't deserve it, for one. Two, we don't have the squad for it right now. Like, we really, really don't. And a lot of these players are proving they're not Premier League quality right now. Like they really aren't. And I don't need to go over the names because we all know who we're talking about here. We all know who needs to leave. We all know who needs to get sold in the summer. I'm saying I wouldn't sell Enzo Fernandez. That's just me. I wouldn't sell him. I think he's too important as a piece of this team because we're so bad right now that everybody's looking like shit. Is Caicedo really a bad player? No. Is Cole Palmer really a bad player? No. Is João Pedro a bad player? No. Is Reece James a bad player? Is Levi Colwell a bad player when he's on the pitch? Is Robert Sanchez really a bad goalkeeper? We were tipping Robert Sanchez early in the season as being one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League because of how much he's improved, especially with how he played in the Club World Cup. It's no surprise that when Liam Rosenior came in, his form regressed, and then you don't play him in a second leg of or in the first leg of a Champions League tie away from home, and you start Jorgensen. Then you start. I think there was another game where he didn't start, and it was questionable because like, why aren't you starting Robert Sanchez? Flip Jorgensen has not shown us anything that he can be even a backup goalkeeper at this club, bro. And you decide to bench him for what? Because I have two number one goalkeepers, so I need to see like what my options are. Robert Sanchez already proved he was the number one goalkeeper for this season, based off his Club World Cup performance and based off of how much he's improved with his ball distribution as well. But that's been in the bin because the change in manager, you bench him, he's lost confidence. Now he's a shell of himself. That's what I'm saying, man. That managerial change absolutely fucked off the entire season. At one point, bro, Chelsea was sitting 6 points behind Arsenal in November. We're now sitting in April, and they've only gained 25 points since. They're on track to have more losses in the Premier League than they will have wins, and have more losses than draws. And they're honestly, I think they have like they have a +8 goal differential too right now. At this point, they're gonna probably find themselves with a -5 goal difference by the end of the season, bro. That's where I think it's heading. And I looked at the La Liga table yesterday, right? Everybody in the top 7 has a positive goal difference. When you look down from 8th down, everybody there has a negative goal difference. It's insane, dude. It's insane the drop off in quality in Spain. But you look at the Premier League, bro, and it's like the chasing pack is catching up, man. And this is why I fear for Chelsea for the rest of this season and for next season. There's a possibility of a relegation battle, and there's a possibility this team is going to finish 14th. Because given where everyone else is, man, and even Leeds United are starting to creep up, bro. This is what I'm saying. I think Leeds now are only 6 points behind us. Like, this is the state of affairs that we find ourselves in, man. No, we're 8 points above Leeds, and Leeds are on 40 points. Bournemouth are ahead of us. Brighton are ahead of us. And I think there's games today that would put, I think even Sunderland can jump us today. We would go as far down as 9th today, and then you go to the results, and then you go to the weekend. Fulham have a chance to jump us. Liverpool have a chance to put more distance. Everton have a chance to jump us. And Newcastle can get closer. Oh, bro, can Newcastle beat Arsenal, bro? Please. Like, if there's a silver lining in this season, I guess it's seeing Tottenham get relegated, where they go to Wolves at the weekend. I think Wolves are going to beat them. Even though, like, they're relegated, they got nothing to play for. Why not go beat Tottenham and drag them down with you, right? If Spurs lose to Wolves at the weekend, bro, I think it's all but done. I think it's all but done. And it wouldn't even matter about them coming to the bridge and beating us because they would already be relegated. Because I think West Ham play Everton at the London Stadium, and Everton are looking to get into those European spots. That's what I'm saying. Sunderland, Fulham, not Fulham. Everton, Brentford, and Sunderland all have a chance to jump Chelsea, right? And Chelsea would then drop as far down as 11th. It's despicable, bro. I mean, I thought the 22-23 season was bad. This is as shambolic as I've ever seen it. And I've been a fan of this team, bro, since 2003. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Like, what is going on? And like, my dad was a Manchester United fan, right? And so me and him always had like a little rivalry in the house and shit when it came to Man United versus Chelsea or whatever. You know, I was a Cristiano Ronaldo fan growing up, so I always paid attention to Manchester United on the side. So when they played each other in 2008 in the Champions League final, it was my favorite player versus my favorite team. So it was like, it was bittersweet to watch Ronaldo win the Champions League, but it was just devastating to see John Terry slip and hit the post. And, you know, it is what it is, right? But this team, man, is in the depths of hell, bro. You just don't know where a win is coming from at this point. You just don't know, bro. One last thing though, before I get on out of here, I'm gonna probably get off stream a bit earlier today. I need to take care of something before I actually go to work. The fuck? I'm not gonna read that, but I'll read this piece right here real quick. That's interesting. This is coming from Max, EFC Pice here. Some players were overheard complaining recently that Rosenior was not giving them enough days off. Sources have revealed that one senior player was unimpressed with what he heard and reminded them that the team was on a loser run and that this was not the time to be complaining about that. I wonder who the senior player was. Honestly. Yeah, thank you, Con. I literally just said that, bro. I'll go ahead and type it to him right now. Yeah, man. It's insane. But I just wonder, like, which players are complaining about time off. You're not in the Champions League. You're only playing one game a week right now. What are you talking about? You guys need rest. Yeah, I wonder which senior player like called out that bullshit, bro. Because that's unacceptable, dude. Andy Jacobs. Levi Colwell got injured on the first day of preseason, and Enzo Maresca begged the board to give him a ball playing center half. So they went out and spent $90 million on Jamie Gittins and Alejandro Garnacho. That's how useless these people are. This part. Enzo Maresca begged for it, bro. Begged for it. I didn't say he got on his hands and knees, but he's like, please get me a ball playing center half. That's what I need in my squad right now. I have one, but he got hurt. So I need another one so I can continue to implement my system and my tactical system into this team. But they went out and spent $90 million on two wingers that have been absolutely diabolical this season. Jamie Gittins, I understand he's been injured, and you know, honestly, thinking about Jamie Gittins, bro, I will say this: I would like to give him a full season where he's actually fit, and actually give him a run of games, because I feel like, for me personally, I've been a little too critical on him and calling him like a Raheem Sterling type player. I want to see more out of him. I just want to see him be confident on the pitch, bro. Like, I just want to see him be more decisive when he is there, and just not be afraid to take a risk. Garnacho is a different animal, bro. Garnacho has shown he's a shit winger. He has shown us that he has no control of his body when he dribbles, and that he can't even get past a warm-up coach in training, bro. You see why Manchester United got rid of him? And we foolishly bought this guy for 40 million? because we all wanted to see the Sioux at the fucking bridge, bro. Like, come on, man. I'm good. He scored one. He has scored one league goal since October, bro. Since October. It's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. At least McFarland had the balls to start Josh Champong against Man City. Don't care if it's Gusa or Fofana out. This boy needs to start for the rest of the season. I agree. At this point, what the fuck do you got to lose, bro? What do you got to lose playing Josh Champong? I don't know. You don't. João Pedro returns to training as Kyle McFarland takes his first session ahead of the huge FA Cup semifinal. Okay. That's good news. Thank God that he's back. We could have used him against Manchester United. I wish he was available, man, but you need to take care of your knee because of the World Cup coming up. I understand. We could have used him there. It's so sad what's going on here, bro. So their remaining fixtures, bro. Monday morning, which is actually pretty insane to me, dude, because I'm off that day. Monday morning, they played Nottingham Forest at the Bridge. This is, I believe, this is in a couple weeks. Then Liverpool at Anfield, Spurs at the Bridge, and Sunderland away. Out of these last few Premier League games, right? Because we have, 4 left? Yeah, we have 4 games left. This is my honest opinion of what I think is going to happen. I'm going to leave my FA Cup prediction out of this. If I'm just sticking to the Premier League and what I think is going to happen for the rest of the season, I think our only win in these last 4 games is going to be Spurs. I think this is going to be the only game we win is Tottenham at home. But we're so dreadful at home that I'm not even real confident in saying that. I think that's the only win I see there. I don't think we're beating Forest at home. I don't think we're beating Liverpool at Anfield, and I don't think we're going to the Stadium of Light and beating them. I think our only win in the Premier League for the rest of the season will be Tottenham at home. But that's an easy one to call, right? So it's not anything new. This is how Loophole FC found a way to allow McFarland to have an assistant coach to Rosenior and also an intern without even holding a UEFA A license, let alone a UEFA Pro license. Anything to have kinetic energy around. Pro license requirement to manage a top-tier European team or on a permanent basis. Coaches need a UEFA Pro license, and apparently he doesn't even have that. Interim expectations. Clubs can appoint caretakers, academy coaches, or assistant staff for short-term periods, often up to 12 weeks, who, while seeking a qualified head coach. Minimum qualifications. According to the Premier League handbook, coaches must have accredited qualifications, usually UEFA A or Pro license. Active engagement expectations. Individuals who do not hold the official license can still act as coaches if they are currently enrolled and actively studying for the required qualification. So Callum McFarland doesn't even have a UEFA Pro license. He doesn't even have an A license. So realistically, he shouldn't be managing this club right now. But I believe John Terry has him. Why aren't you and this is another thing I want to talk about here, guys. And this is the kind of shit that, and I'm bringing up the mic. I don't do this often, but this is where I just get sick and tired of seeing this ownership disrespect the club legends that have actually put in their blood, sweat, and tears for this club. If you guys saw the clip of John Terry after they lost 3-0 to Brighton, if you look at his reaction to everything, he is absolutely distraught with how shit is going. And he already knows it's sell to buy. He knows the players have nothing left. He knows the players are just mentally shot. Why are we not offering him at least a caretaker manager position for the rest of the season? I think he would get an absolute tune out of these players. I really do. But why aren't they going to allow him to come? Because realistically, they don't want anybody with too much authority. They don't want club legends anywhere near this club right now. This is why Drogba's not there. This is why Petr Cech isn't there, right? This is why John Terry's not there, right? We even saw Marina Granovskaya like a post about the Blue Coat protest, about the and about the direction that the club is heading in. Marina Granovskaya. I'm pretty sure somewhere out there in the world, Roman Abramovich is cringing at where this club is right now. Roman Abramovich gave a fuck about this club. Roman Abramovich was there. He brought this club to relevancy and he brought the glory to this club. He cleared all debt for this club to make sure that we were best set up for the future. And what has this ownership done? Spent close to £2 billion on shit. On shit. And now we're sitting here with the possibility of finishing outside the European spots. 4 years later, you're still in the same position you find yourself in. You take over a club that were European champions, had a European winning manager, and you get rid of him because you have a disagreement. It's fucking despicable, bro. Club legends have absolutely every reason. You know who I really want to hear from? I feel like if you hear something from like an Eden Hazard about where the club is going, a lot of people are gonna gravitate to that. We've even heard little clips. We've even seen quotes from Frank Lampard about how sad it is to see where Chelsea is right now. John Obi Mikel on his own podcast calling out the owners, talking about how shit they are. How many more players need to come out? How many more club legends need to come out? How many more journalists need to report about what's going on at the club before you guys get the fuck out of the club? Like I said, Roman Abramovich gave a fuck about the club. He was here. If something wasn't right, if the results were poor, he gets rid of the manager and he brings in the next guy that can get him those results and win him silverware, because he cared about what the direction that the club was going in. And Blue Co have single-handedly brought this team into the depths of hell that they're struggling to get themselves out of, man. They finished 12th 3 years ago, and they're on track to finish 14th, and that's not by accident. That's on purpose. End of the day, guys, Blue Co out. Leicester fans, I'm with you guys. King Power out. Tottenham fans, I hate your team, but your board needs to get the fuck out too. Absolutely. Enough of the greed, enough of the bullshit. These owners need to get the fuck out of these clubs because you guys are single-handedly destroying the infrastructure of these clubs. We have a private equity problem. And private equity doesn't belong in this sport. Keep that shit in the United States where it's supposed to be, where I'm from. Keep that shit over there, over here. But I'm a passionate football fan, soccer fan. I don't give a fuck if people clown on me for saying that I say soccer. I say football realistically, but because we get generalized for saying soccer, I'll say soccer for you European viewers out there, right? I give a fuck about this sport more than I give a fuck about a lot of things, man, because I played it for 20 years. It's what makes me happy. And to be quite honest with you, it is the most entertaining sport to watch if you have the patience for it. But when your team is playing despicable, when your team is playing like crap, and the owners are running this club like a freaking circus because they're clowns, you start to fall out of love with actually wanting to watch these games. And I never thought I would say that. But this is the state of mind I'm in when it comes to this club right now. I'm not going to be able to take it anymore. But with that being said, guys, I need to get out of here. I got work in about an hour and 30 minutes or so. So, will I do a preview for Chelsea versus Leeds? I don't know yet. I just want to see how like the rest of the week pans out in terms of the news, like if the new manager will be appointed or whatever, or they make the announcement, but he won't take over until after the World Cup. We'll see, man. But let me know in the comments. Let me know wherever you guys are watching who you guys want as the next Chelsea manager. If you aren't Chelsea fans, who would you want to see be their next manager? And if you're not a fan of Chelsea and you understand the message that and you understand the frustration that we're going through, just push the message that Blue Co needs to get out of football, period, and that private equity does not belong in this sport. But I'm Jason. Follow the socials, drop comments, drop a like, share, get engaged, do all that cool stuff. I stream just about every single morning. I upload shorts just about every single day. Long form videos will be here and there, but at this point, I love the streaming. I love engaging and just talking about stuff in live time. But with that being said, guys, I'm out. Peace out. Enjoy your day. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay dry, and just connect with people that you know that you are associated with. Be with your family. That's all I can say. But yeah, I'm out, guys. Peace out, man. Have a good Thursday. Up to Chelsea, even though we suck right now.